the beauty room's under construction, so here we are. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. My name's Noelani. If you're new here, we do everything beauty brought to you by the queen herself. And if you're joining us again, thank you so much. It's so good to see you again. Today I wanted to get on here and share with you guys some beginner-friendly content. I feel like all creators should share everything, like, you know, to the max on 100, and it's beautiful and amazing, but there's also people that are trying to learn. So I'm here to help anyone that is learning. If you have any questions about any information that I'm giving you guys here today, make sure you leave it in the comment box below so that I can get back to you, so that I can share, you know, whatever insight I might have. If I missed something, definitely call me out in the comments. You know, I want to know if you guys need any help. Let me know. I wanted to get on here and discuss some foundation types with you guys, help you figure out maybe what type is best for you and what other types maybe you should stay away from. Remember, these are my suggestions, so you can go ahead and take them with a grain of salt and apply them to your makeup as you see fit. But let's get started. So first I'm just going to touch on the types of foundations that are available, and then we'll get into the pros and cons, I guess you could say, of each. Right now, I guess you could say the most common foundation type would be liquid foundation, which usually comes in some sort of pumping or open top bottle that is usually applied with a blender or a brush or your fingers, you know, whatever you need to do. Next we have a stick foundation, which is really kind of self-explanatory. Comes in a stick shape and you usually just apply with the product. You just glide across the skin and apply with the product. Next we have powder foundation, which is usually applied with a puff type. I usually call it a puffy, the little puffy that would come with your powders, or you can use a brush to apply powder foundation. Those are the more common foundations that we have. Then the more uncommon ones, you'd have a whipped foundation. That's basically just a liquid foundation with air whipped into it. Then we have things like tinted moisturizers, which honestly is basically, to me, is a BB or a CC cream, which is kind of separate things, but I think they all fall under the same category. Now, liquid foundations. I feel like I can go on and on about liquid foundations. They've got luminous formulas, matte formulas, there's like velvety textured formulas, there's serum-based foundations, and you know, it's all just picking which one would be best for you. When you're using a liquid foundation, it's easier to manipulate. You can add a foundation pigment to it. Say if your foundation that you bought is too dark, you can add a white foundation pigment to it and it would lighten it up, and then it would match you better. Now, other foundations aren't as easy to mix. Like you wouldn't, you know, it's kind of hard to mix a powdered foundation, things like that. So that's why like a liquid foundation is easier to manipulate, I would say. The cons of a liquid foundation is the stuff gets freaking everywhere. It's kind of, I would say it's kind of wasteful because you don't end up using everything that you know, so I'll pump a whole bunch on to the back of my hand and mix it up with some pigment or whatever, and I put it all onto my face, and I don't use 3/4 of it, and I end up just wiping it off and throwing it away. Because one, I'm not going to put it back into the bottle. So yeah, there's that. Also, another problem with liquid foundations is a lot of them are buildable. That's what's great, but if you do too much, it can get very cakey very quick, especially if you're going to go over with your concealer, your contour, your bronzer, your highlight, your blah blah blah. So liquid foundation, you have to be careful to make sure it doesn't get too cakey. Moving on, stick foundations. Now, stick foundations, I really like them. If you can find the perfect shade for you, it's great for on the go. It's great for if you have any blemishes, or I have like a really dark pore on the center of my nose, and it's really good at covering up stuff like that because you have that like direct application, so it's gonna go into those pores and it's easier to cover any blemishes that you might have. The cons of the stick foundation is kind of based off the liquid foundation. You can't really blend it. Or I mean, you could mix a stick foundation. It's just I would kind of recommend mixing it with another stick foundation. You know, you're not going to want to mix a stick foundation with a liquid. It doesn't, I guess it could work, but you're going to have to do a little bit more manipulation. Another good thing about stick foundations is that if you're someone like me that struggles to find like a contour shade, I can't find a contour that I like that matches me well, so I could go for a stick foundation and use that as a contour shade instead. Same thing with a concealer. If you can't find a good concealer but you like a stick foundation, it gives you that ease of application and it gives you that nice, beautiful finish that you're looking for. Next, we have powder foundations. I'm kind of biased because I don't like powder foundation at all. It's just but that's me because of my skin type, you know. On other people it does look good and they can definitely pull it off. Powder foundation does give you a more of a weightless look. It can give you more of an airbrush effect if used properly, but it definitely does work well. It's just not used as much anymore. However, Fenty Beauty just dropped a powder foundation, so we might have to try that. Just go ahead and keep your eyes out for a review. The powder foundation, people using it has definitely slowed. Not a lot of people mess with that anymore, but it is making its way back. I feel like I like to use powder foundations for setting powders. A lot of people like to use translucent powders, but with me being a dark chocolate mommy, it's nice to use a tinted powder. Sometimes I can't always find like a banana shade or more of a like nutmeg powder. So if you can find a powder foundation, that works well too to set your liquid foundation. Cons. So the only thing about powder foundation that, and this is why I feel like everyone stopped using it, is because when it comes to makeup, you have to kind of have a balance, and you can't really have a balance if you're using powder foundation, powder blush, powder concealer, powdered contour, powder bronzer, you know, powdered eyeshadow. So you're piling all this powder on top of each other and you're gonna imagine that you're gonna come out looking like a crusty cracker. So you definitely have to find the right powdered foundation. I'm not knocking them all, I'm just saying you gotta have a good one. Okay, so for whipped foundations whipped foundations are one of the types that I tend to keep away from. It's just a hard formula to achieve. Foundation, you want something that's full coverage that you can see. You know, you just want coverage when it comes to foundation. And I feel like whipped foundations, when they're pumping that air into it, it's once you go to apply, it's gonna give you that streakiness, you know. But they're attempting to get the coverage of liquid foundation and the luminosity and the lightweightness of a like powdered foundation, I guess you could say. So that's why they're trying to add the air to it and do something. But every time I've tried out a foundation, a whipped foundation, it ends up being streaky, but that's just my opinion. Okay. And lastly, we have tinted moisturizers, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw our BB and CC creams in with our tinted moisturizers. I think it's a great I think tinted moisturizers are great if you are someone who likes lighter coverage with makeup, if you're someone that's just going to correct some small, if you're just someone that's going to do some color correcting or some blemish covering, tinted moisturizers are literally for you. People that wear foundation are more of people that are doing the most, like your girl. If you're doing more of a lax look, you know, if you're just going for a natural glowy look and you're just looking to accentuate, like I said, if you're just looking to color correct and cover any small blemishing like that, tinted moisturizers are made for you. So a BB cream is literally a blemish balm or a beauty balm, and is literally just to cover any blemishes while moisturizing and correcting your skin. So it's moisturizer with a little bit of your color mixed in there to also cover and correct any of your skin differences. I like that word. So next is our CC cream, which just stands for color correcting. So CC cream is great if you have any redness or things like that. so that could help there, but it also does bring in that coloring. It has the tinted. It also brings in the coloring. It has the tint to it so that you can apply that to your face and have a nice sheer, but also moisturized and covered glow. So tinted moisturizers are definitely a good try if you're looking for something lightweight and something to get you started. With me being the extra queen that I am, I love me some liquid foundation, okay? Nothing can beat it. Before you get into picking your foundation, you have to know your skin type. So for example, I have eczema on my cheeks, but my center of my face is very, very oily. So I have a combination skin. So God, it's so hard, but we work it out, you know? So basically, I try to stay away from matte foundations. I really do try because I have dry skin, but it is very hard. A lot of foundations are, especially liquid foundations, a lot of liquid foundations right now are matte, but you know, they do have dewy foundations and things like that. For example, I really like the NARS Luminous foundation, but not expensive, honey. If you have dry skin, you're obviously going to want it to remain on the luminous side. If you have a more oily skin, then you're going to want to remain on the more matte side. So, yeah. However, if you have combination skin, you can definitely do something to work with the differences within your skin. But for my combination skin baddies out there, I don't want you to be concerned. I do have really dry cheeks due to my eczema, so if I'm going to wear a matte foundation, I always make sure I moisturize the crapola. Yes, crapola out of my face, okay? Just to make sure that the matte foundation doesn't dry me out too much, because you'll definitely see that through your foundation. So when it does come to picking a foundation, make sure you're taking that into consideration. Think about how your skin is going to react to this product. Also, I just want to say, you don't have to pick your foundation by yourself, ever. If you go to Ulta or Sephora, someone will help you. Just ask them. I know it can be nerve-wracking, but that's their job. Honey, they're getting paid to help you. You have a question, you ask. And worst comes to worst, you can ask me. I'll come help you. Thank you so much for stopping to check out my video. I hope you liked it. I hope it helps someone out there. Somebody. I hope I help somebody. Anyway, my music career is not going anywhere, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And hit the bell so that you're here for my next video. You guys already know you're the best. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.